Hi there, my name is Pat.
And I'm Pete.
You're watching the insight into our independently released debuted album, Then There Were Two.
Then There Were Two.
From the very early days, we weren't making an album. We were just, messing around in our bedroom.
Yeah, it was all about having fun and just seeing what we could create with such little resources, really.
We hit a crossroads where we weren't able to do it ourselves. We got dead with the tracks, basically, but we did hear something that we weren't able to create on our own.
Okay, so we're here in our home studio. This is where most of the action happens. Everything starts in here with the crappy gear that I've been collecting for a long time, as you can see. And so we'll put down all basic vocals, all basic parts of all the music, and try and get as much as we can done in our own time here. And then we'll take it to finer studios to give it the polished touch. I'm a big fan of delay. I really like delay in most of my tracks. It's something like back, because I used to listen to dance music in my early days when Pat used to listen to more alternative stuff. So I've got this sort of thing on delay. So the main lead in the song is sort of like a child sort of xylophone kind of theme. So it goes like that. But that sounded too dry for me, so I wanted to add my favorite effect, which is a ping pong delay. So you give a nice sort of creepy but really dreamy kind of kid xylophone kind of sound, which sounds like that. So on top of that, that's what we started with the track, and then add some nice chords, and then you've got world performance. It's as simple as that.
We will perform as the wind picks up and stills the sounds from the speakers.
We'll Perform is one of the last tracks we did, and just it's got a real somber feeling to it.
Though the lights are smashed and the clouds. At a time where a telephone did more than one thing, I took a photo of that ring, sorted on the web, which made me think.
We were picked up from MySpace, which you may be watching this on right now, by a person called Terry Stradwick, who runs a studio in the roof of a building in St Kilda Road.
Yeah, I'm Terry Stradwick, mixer and producer from Melbourne, head audio tech and engineer at Rooftop Studios. I ran into these two a couple of years ago, and I had heard about the music that they were doing at the time, and was quite interested because there was bugger all happening in the Australian music industry at those times. The producer aspects on this side of things, really all we went for was an organic sound. We didn't go for anything too electro. The boys brought enough ideas. All we wanted to do was really open the sounds up and the ideas that the guys brought to us.
Then there were two, so take note of my pixelated face.
Ultimately just wanted a really nice open organic album that didn't sound as though it was over compressed, and I think there's too much on the radio these days that just sounds as though it's trying to grab your attention. I think the music needs to grab your attention, and I believe that Then There Were Two are one of those acts that really will move on into the higher genres of music.
Pixelated Face is the first track off the album. Lyrically, it's simply using a lot of metaphors in relation to time moving on, in particular getting over a particular relationship, but at the same time moving on with your head held high.
So the first thing we put together was probably about 8 or 9 tracks at a studio, which is actually the spare room of a place that we both share and stuff. And from there we got most of the bases done. I'm really into synthesis, so put all the synths down, got all that done, and then it was time to bring in the real sounds, which brought us to good person Sean O'Sullivan.
Hi, my name's Sean. I'm from Highway 9 Productions. I did some of the co-production on Then There Were Two album.
And so I look all over.
I think it's one of the best projects I've worked on. Was open to every production tool that we could use. So basically, for me, how do you get more powerful than that in a studio sense? And I think electronically it's very hard to. Where if you've got a drummer, and Paddy being a drummer, you can suddenly add live drums to it, add live bass, and get it really kicking, and a few guitars, get rid of the old electronic ones, and you've suddenly got a full sound.
Pat had a story about him heading to the States to go on a little bit of a life journey a few years back, and he wrote a song about sort of taking that flight, and literally the flight itself, the plane flight and the trip to the airport. And that's one of my favourite songs in the album, and it's really cool because it's a good formulation of sort of real drums, drum loops, drum samples, as well as you've got your classic piano, you've got pluck string, guitos, you've got just so many varying detailed synths with these really cool riffs on the top, and it's just a good formulation of what we're about, sort of two-person unit that makes a 20-piece orchestra sound.
But the flight is delayed.
We've been working on this album for around,
I'd say probably about 2.5 years. Yeah, and one of the big principles of the album, which makes it a really exciting project to work on, is the production values. We really made sure that everything was as good as we could possibly do. We wouldn't let money stop us, we wouldn't let time or our day-to-day jobs sort of get in the way of the fact that we wanted to be as professional and like it came from a record label from day one anyway.
You can tell that I'm in a rush. You can tell that it's not enough to feel the way I feel to keep me here. And when I'm coming with
So thanks for watching. We're Then There Were Two. Hopefully we'll see you at a live gig soon.
so goodbye.